Whew. That was fun. Eat your heart out, Ellen. Okay. Hi, everybody. Hey, that was quite a jazz band, wasn't it? Fantastic. And of course, the Data Mariachi Band outside. Fantastic. Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Brian McDonald, to be Master of Ceremonies for this evening, and I'm really excited to be here for the Trudy Arriaga Retirement Roast, where everything you say can and will be used to expel you. Actually, it's not a roast, of course, we all know that. It's a celebration. I mean, what could we say about Trudy Arriaga in a roast? I mean, what's the worst thing that you could possibly say? She's so nice. She's so caring. You know, it just doesn't work. So, the other day we met, and she was telling me about this event and really what she wanted it to be about. And of course, you know, as one would expect, it was about inclusiveness. About everyone that wanted to be here, could be here, to celebrate the extraordinary work that she has done for our community. And she said she really wanted it to be like a pep rally. And I was like, yeah, that sounds cool. I have no idea what a pep rally was. I swear to you, I have never in my life been to a pep rally. Well, sorry. Yeah, I was always in the theater, you know. In fact, most of my time in high school was, you know, getting passes from my theater teachers to get out of gym. So I don't even remember the last time I was in a gym. I did play some sports for a very brief time. In fact, I do remember when I was a tot and I was playing football, and I really didn't want to, you know, and my father was putting the black stuff under my eyes, you know. And I remember one day, my job, as far as I was concerned, was to stay away from the ball. Because if I had that ball, I knew I was going to get tackled. So I would stay away from the ball. Well, one day, the ball came flying, and I caught it, which was a miracle. And I ran so fast that I scored a touchdown. And then I went over, thank you, yes. You know, really, I didn't care about the touchdown. I was just happy I didn't get tackled. And I went up to my dad afterwards and I said, can I please go home now? So that was pretty much my time in the gym. But you know what, if I'm gonna be completely honest, I also have never emceed before. Yeah, I'm kind of like Sarah Palin's pick, you know what I mean? Trudy's pick. But the thing is, I did do my homework, okay? Oh, sorry, little joke that I forgot here. Was that, you know, even though I'm not a master of ceremonies and I don't really know what a pep rally is, it's like, I think this should be a pretty exciting afternoon. It's gonna be, you know, I guess at best, like watching a blind tightrope walker without a net, and at worst, watching 5 hours of an award show hosted by James Franco and Anne Hathaway minus Anne Hathaway. So we're in for a great evening, great afternoon. I did find out that a pep rally consists of an atmosphere that is loud and enthusiastic. Check. It includes special performances where we've got, you know, Rubicon's harmonics over here, and we've got company, and of course we've got our jazz bands and fantastic entertainment. We also have humor, I hope. Drums, dancing, cheerleaders, athletes. So we've got a really packed, wonderful afternoon scheduled here. And we also have, at pep rallies, people of note, people that I'd like to introduce to you now. Let's see if I can do this without getting feedback here. So first we have here Hannah Beth Jackson, our senator. How are you?
I'm accustomed to working alone. Oh. That's a joke. No, that's a joke. I'm here because it's a bittersweet day, actually, and wanted to say a couple words of thank you to Trudy, and actually I had roast in mind, but when they handed me the card that they suggested I use as the theme, I thought, No, this is not the Trudy Arriaga event. Reserved is not the way I describe her. But the way to describe Trudy, as I was coming in, she was welcoming people, and I thought to myself, you know, I swear she'll probably be doing that even at her funeral. She'll be outside welcoming people in. But that's Trudy. Trudy, to me, I've worked with Trudy since she became the superintendent back in 2001. And as a good MC knows, I'm not going to go through the whole, 14 years. But what I am going to say is that Trudy is one of those extraordinary people. So here today we're supposed to be applauding her and thanking her. I wish she wouldn't go, frankly. I don't want her to leave. So, when you're a politician, of course, I'm not a politician, I'm a stateswoman. There's a big difference. But when you talk, we do a lot of these kinds of events. I would like to just leave you with a couple thoughts about how unique and special Trudy Arriaga is to me, and I'm sure to you. Trudy is one of those rays of sunshine. No matter how difficult the task, no matter how difficult the financial circumstances, Trudy is always there with that bundle of hope. And it's with hope that we can accomplish things. And I look here at the sunflowers, and that's Trudy. And I look at the work that she's done. I think of Trudy more as a sister. And I think many of you do, including her brother, who says, yes, she is a sister, and I could tell you stories, but that's not the kind of sister I mean. And this year, Trudy Arriaga was one of my Ventura County Women of the Year, because she's been a leader, she's been in the forefront, and she's out there as an educator, recognizing something that most people don't. What the goal of education is, I think, is to teach to the genius in each child. But what Trudy Arriaga recognized is that these children don't come to school with food in their bellies, with the services they need to do the best that they can and to be the best that they will be. We won't find that genius. And the commitment that she has made during her time here is not only to provide the best educational experience to these children, but also to provide them with the things they need to do their best when they get into the classroom. And for that, I think we are all grateful, and for that, I salute you, Trudy Arriaga.
Thank you very much. We have Mayor Cheryl Heitman here. Hi, Cheryl.
Hi, Brian. And I can work with you. It's okay. Oh, okay. Well, Trudy, on behalf of the Ventura City Council and the City of Ventura, we want to just thank you. And what a valuable partner you've been. You've had to lead this district through the good and the bad, and now the good again. But doing the tax measure, or the parcel tax measure, and everything that you've done to improve the district is really appreciated by the city. You are the ultimate cheerleader, so a pep rally is absolutely perfect for you, because everywhere you go, you are the best cheerleader for VUSD I can ever imagine. So we're going to miss working with you. We know you're going to be around, though, which is great. So we know you're still going to be involved with both the city and the schools, and we value that. But most of all, we value what you've done for our schools. The city wouldn't be able to be successful without terrific schools, and we are so proud of the schools that we have here, and it really is ultimately due to you. So thank you.
We have Brad Hudson, field representative from Julie Brownlee.
Thank you. Thanks, Brian. Dr. Arriaga, on behalf of Congresswoman Brownlee, I just want to thank you for your supportive and encouraging and inspirational educational leader and advocate in Ventura. Your passion for education and students is unquestionable. On behalf of the Congresswoman, it's my sincere pleasure to join Ventura Unified District in honoring you on your 35 years of service and dedication. It's my honor to present you with this statement of congressional record that the Congresswoman had entered into the permanent congressional record, and we wish you all the best on your future endeavors.
County Supervisor Steve Bennett is here.
Thank you, Brian. Trudy, you know how I feel about you, so I don't have to say it. And I know you want us to go really fast with this part of the ceremony. So on behalf of the Board of Supervisors, this is a resolution of the Ventura County Board of Supervisors thanking you for everything you've done for our community and this special school district. Thank you.
community leaders and philanthropists and dear friends of education, Sandra and Jordan Labby. Do you want to say something? No? What's the first word when you think of Trudy Arriaga, Sandra? Just one word.
You're a love.
That was great. Yeah. Hi. And I'm sorry, I'm not sure I know who you are.
Yeah, well, you're in a big club. And there's a bigger club of people that are trying to forget. But I'm Steve Blum. I'm representing the Community College District today. And as you may or may not know, Dr. Arriaga was a 1975 graduate of Ventura College. She tells me she was 8 when she graduated from there. We're always happy to see our graduates do well. I was told to be short. I didn't listen as well as Steve. Congratulations and thanks.
Thank you, Steve. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Who else? I think that's it. That's it? Yeah. Was there anybody else that wanted to speak that I missed? No, we're good. Yay. Moving right along. Okay, so let's see if I get... now, there is one more thing that happens at a pep rally, and that is audience participation. Okay, so this is where you come in. So throughout the afternoon, I may call you out like by specific groups and ask you to help me out. Is that okay? Sounds good? All right. Thank goodness. Okay, let's get a test run. So those of you in the audience who have had Trudy as a teacher, please stand up. If you have had Trudy as a teacher, go ahead, stand up. Okay, fantastic. Now, I want you to repeat after me. I'm going to have to put this mic down and use this here. Hold on for a second. Okay. Trudy fans, clap your hands. Now you repeat. Trudy fans, clap your hands. Shake your booty, cause I love Trudy. I'm a Trudy fan. Hey! All right. Very good. Awesome. Who needs Katy Perry? All right. Well, throughout the afternoon, you may hear this sound, and that means that you're talking too long, or I just need you to be quiet. Okay. You with me, Annabeth? Okay, I'm counting on you, girl. All right. So let's get this party started. The reason why we are all here, and it's not what you think. It's not actually Trudy Arriaga. It's not. The reason why we're here is because of the students. And it is my pleasure to welcome the very dedicated and talented group of VUSD students through our district choir singing one of Trudy's favorite Michael Jackson songs, the inspirational Man in the Mirror. Please welcome Company Choir under the direction of Heidi House. So just joining us, we have Assemblyman Das Williams. Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you. Here, I'll hold this while so you can.
Great. So you'll hold it up? Great. Well, it's good. It's good. You don't want to have all the politicians come up at once anyway, right? You know, so break it up with some good music. I just want to pay a tribute to a wonderful woman who has served this district for 34 years. This is the replica. This is not the actual one. That's in the mail, but it'll look like that. As you know, I honored Trudy as Woman of the Year this year for the 37th District. I think she's maybe, for Ventura Unified, a woman of the last couple decades. She obviously, as you know, put in 34 years of service. I personally think she looks too young to have put in 34 years of service. But what she's done here is transformative. And I just want you to know that I always bring up Ventura Unified as an example for the rest of the state. Because I gotta tell you, one of the toughest issue areas I ever work in is education. Because I tell you, the long knives come out between administrators and teachers in this state, and between parent groups. They just, they shank each other as much as possible because they all think they're fighting for the kids, right? But Ventura Unified is one of those examples where stakeholders work together. And I think it's a lot because of Trudy's leadership and the leadership of the teachers' unions here that have been able to work together. It has meant no one winning every time, but I hold it up as a standard for the rest of the state because I think the rest of the state can learn something from it. Because what it's produced is a safe district, a high-performing district, as test scores are going up, and one everyone can be proud to send their kids to school here, and it's because of the kind of leadership that Dr. Arriaga has provided with us. So, Dr. Arriaga, can I present you with the replica of the real thing here?
The most important thing I want you to know is that Das Williams went to Sheridan Way Elementary School.
Well, obviously, making a change is a lot of what Trudy's life has been about. And this gym is really where it all began. Of course, it wasn't always called the Bob Tuttle Gym. No, that was 60 years ago. But who's counting, right? Next, we have a look back with the help of digital multimedia and studio instructor Terry Weezer from the Ventura Continuing and Adult Education. Over the past 15 years, he and Trudy have worked in close partnership, creating various videos for VUSD. The following video is their final collaboration, which takes us back through time, through the eye and experience of Superintendent Dr. Trudy Tuttle Arriaga. So if we could please have the lights and roll them.
This is where it all began. 68 years ago, my husband, Bob Tuttle, had his first coaching job here at Ventura High. Who would have thought that 68 years later, I would be in this gym named after my husband and honoring my daughter's superintendency. Some of you may remember the small balcony over one of the baskets. In those days, the games were broadcast play-by-play over the local radio station. The broadcaster, Jerry Thomas, and I and my babies would sit up in the balcony overlooking the court. My children grew up to the lullaby of a bouncing ball. I recall so vividly 15 years ago, Trudy said to me, "It's crazy, Mom, but I think I may apply for the superintendent job." I said, "You go for it, girl." The day the final decision was to be made, our family was all gathered at Trudy and Raimundo's home to either congratulate or to console. Trudy said to me, "Mom, I'm so nervous and scared. What if I get it?" And then a car drove up, and out stepped Debbie Golden, the school board president, holding a bouquet of flowers. The rest is history. Trudy's what if became will do and well done. Her dream came true, and now 15 years later I say, congratulations, Trudy, you did a great job. Your family and I love you, and our pride for you is over the moon and on to a very special star.
Yep, this is where it all began. Bob Tuttle Gym. Of course, it wasn't the Bob Tuttle Gym at the time, it was the Ventura High School Gym. It wasn't until the 1970s that it became the Bob Tuttle Gym, but as a child, from the day I was born until I entered kindergarten, this is where I spent a lot of my time. And as a family, we would have dinner on Friday nights. It would usually be chicken pot pies and French fries, deep fried French fries. And off we would go to the basketball game to watch my father coach. So this particular gymnasium is home to me, and it's home to our family. And what a great honor when it was named after my father in the 70s. But when I started my career in Ventura Unified School District, I was a kindergartner at Will Rogers Elementary School. I can officially say that Will Rogers was the only place where I have wet my pants, but again, you have to give me a break. I was a kindergartner, and I was in Miss Loftus's classroom, and I still remember her with her big coat, and she would, on a cold day at recess, she would let us get inside her coat with her and keep us warm. And I have fond memories of starting my first year in the Ventura Unified School District at Will Rogers Elementary School. My parents moved from the Will Rogers neighborhood and bought a home above the college, and a 4-bedroom home, large home, for a whopping price of, I think it was $42,000. And off we went to the new neighborhood above the college, and I became a first grader at Loma Vista Elementary School. That's where I met my very best friend for life, Georgia Perry.
It all started at Loma Vista, first grade, in Mrs. Harris' class when we met. We spent a lot of time together, as I remember, right here on the basketball court. Really not watching the basketball game, but we sat in the middle of all the cheerleaders.
George and I immediately became the best of friends, and we, to this day, are still best of friends. I think it was because people used to tease her and say Georgie Porgy. Or maybe it was because people teased me and called me Tutti Frutti. But for some reason, we came together as the best of friends, and boy, what a lifelong friend Georgia has been. We were actually in Betty Harris's class together.
I remind her from time to time that the reason she has this incredible career success is because I had her as a first grade student years ago. Of course, Trudy being gracious, she just smiles and doesn't say anything, but she can have her own opinion. But Trudy was a nice little girl. She was blessed to have a loving, supportive family, which makes such a difference to children.
I had the incredible good fortune when I was in 6th grade, because in those days, elementary school was K through 6. And so when I became a 6th grader, how lucky was I to be in Mr. Norm Hudson's classroom. Walked into his classroom, he was a first-year teacher, and there was a surfboard in the corner, and Mr. Hudson was as handsome could be, and as 6th grade girls, we thought we'd died and gone to heaven.
I remember her as an outstanding student, a really neat kid, and she was fun to teach. We still see people around Ventura that was in that class, and I have really fond memories. It's also a coincidence that when Trudy became superintendent, I started my substituting in the district. So she and I go back 50 years. Fond memories.
And Mr. Hudson shared with us that he had been on the Ozzie and Harriet show. I have to tell you, that was the end-all be-all to have a teacher who had been on the Ozzie and Harriet show. That was the year where I broke my arm playing kickball. And that was the year where I became the Loma Vista School President. And I still remember my poster. It was Goofy Grape and all his friends are voting for Trudy. Why not join the bunch? Very clever, and it actually won. And I found myself in a leadership position at Loma Vista Elementary School. You know, when I left Loma Vista Elementary School, I went to Anacapa Middle School, and I'm hoping, honestly, that we cannot find anyone to speak on my behalf when I was in middle school, because those were not my finest years.
One of the joys of teaching is having students with exceptional potential in your classroom. Trudy was one of those students. Of course, you don't always recognize it when they're in junior high school. And one of the mysteries of teaching is not knowing how those students turn out after they graduate.
Is adorable an appropriate word to use in describing the retiring superintendent of the Ventura Unified School District? Adorable is precisely what Trudy Tuttle was. When I first met her in my 9th grade English class at Anacapa Junior High School.
Really, it was a time of self-identity for me, and a time of trying to really figure out who I was and who I was going to be and what kind of person I was going to be. And again, not my finest hour. It was a time of the Vietnam War. It was a time where I remember burning a lot of incense, peace posters in my bedroom, rattan furniture, and really a time of self-discovery, a time of the civil rights movement. There was a lot going on during those years, and it was an exciting time, but a bit of a confusing time for me as a child.
Do you remember when Trudy was in middle school? I do a little bit. She went through a real hippie stage. Yes, the moment I left to go to college, she took my room, she painted the walls a putrid fluorescent green, she took down the closet door and she hung all these beads, she brought in rattan furniture, she changed it. And then she was always shopping at Salzer's for incense, peace sign posters, and she even had one that said something about "You are the universe, the sun and the stars." I can't believe Mom and Dad let her do that.
And I think I was happy to get on to high school, where I found my footing again. And it was in high school that I became the head cheerleader. I'm sure that's no surprise. And I really found myself in leadership. And in those days, my daughters would often say, you know, why were you a cheerleader? And in those days, there was no opportunity to play basketball or softball or volleyball as a female. We had, as I recall, as a female, you could either play girls softball in an after-school intramural program, or you could be in water ballet. or you could be a cheerleader. And so I chose to be a cheerleader, but I'm so proud of where we are today with our girls being top athletes and competitive in all sports.
Trudy was Pep Squad captain for one of my most outstanding, extraordinary, as I recall, Pep Squads. She made my job so easy because she took hold of the reins and did so much for that extraordinary group.
I've known Trudy since she was born, and if I haven't said this to you before, you are always my favorite cheerleader.
But let me tell you, we've come a long way from the 70s when it came to opportunities for females. Those were also the days when we weren't allowed to wear pants to school, and we would have Pants Day. And I remember when it was Pants Day, it was like a big deal, and it was probably in the early 70s that we actually earned the right to wear pants to school every day. And we took that to another level because that's when hot pants were in style. So not only did we wear pants to school, we wore hot pants to school and go-go boots. But being a cheerleader for me was really an opportunity, as I said, to demonstrate my leadership and to have some confidence in front of large groups and to lead. And of course, I was such a basketball fan that it wasn't hard for me to lead. It was a little difficult for me to lead in football. I remember my father would sit up in the stands when I was head cheerleader, and I would lead a cheer like, push him back, and my father would shake his head like, no, Trudy, that makes no sense. Or we can do it, we can, when there was no way that we were going to win.
As we announced our selection, Trudy got up and came over. She started jumping up and down, clapping her hands together, unbelievably. And I'm sitting there thinking, what and who have we just hired? So I was a little bit worried about the experience, but she was so excited, jumping up and down, telling us all that she would not disappoint us, that we would be very happy with her as our selection. So she did that much like a cheerleader. And I've got to be honest with you, for the last 14 years as our superintendent, Trudy has indeed been a superintendent. She has been a pleasure to work with, keeping everything very quiet and very calm, but yet at the same time, she was the school district's #1 cheerleader.
It was right about the time of graduation at Ventura High School that the gymnasium was named after my father. And what an incredible honor for not just my father, of course, but for our entire family. And to this day, it's the gift that keeps on giving. There isn't a time that I don't drive by the gymnasium and take a peek and look at him and wink at him and give real gratitude to the district that bestowed such an honor on our family. And my father was alive at the time when the gym was named after him, so he lived to actually be a part of that. It was hard to leave high school because I loved high school. I remember crying on graduation day, and now as the superintendent, as I'm at the graduations and I watch students cry as they walk away, it's a memory that not only do I get, but I had on that very field. I went on after high school to have some exciting adventures and got married very young, actually before I could have champagne at my wedding. I was married, and I became a paraeducator in the Ventura Unified School District. And I remember that a teacher said to me, you know, you'd be a good teacher. And that was actually all it took for me, was someone to just say that, for me to carry that forward and to work on a teaching credential and move forward in my quest and my desire to be a teacher in the district. I came back in 1981, and by that time my 2 children, Andrea and Daniela, were born, and back into the district as a teacher. And I was hired by Dr. Brown, and he was quite impressed that I was the sister of Gary Tuttle. I remember that being a big part of my interview, was that I was the sister of Gary Tuttle, and he found that impressive. So thank you, Gary. Maybe that's why I got hired. but I taught at Loma Vista Elementary School, I taught at Elmhurst, but most of my teaching career was at Balboa Middle School. And I had the extreme honor and pleasure to teach with great teachers at Balboa Middle School. My partner, Marcia Ford, was a mentor to me, and together we taught in the Deaf and Hard of Hearing program. I also taught in the migrant program and in the bilingual program, but it was the Deaf and Hard of Hearing program where I found my match in special education and benefited deeply from the experiences that I had as a teacher in the Deaf and Hard of Hearing program.
Hi, I'm Virginia Scott. I work at Loma Vista School as an interpreter for the deaf. Wow. I have so many memories about you. You know, as my former DHH teacher in middle school, I had so much fun those years. And I want to tell you a funny story. I know this is one of your favorites too. What happened was, in the classroom, me and my deaf friends were sitting around and we're talking. Oh, no. I don't think we were really talking. I think we were working, right? Kidding. And of course we couldn't hear. So Trudy's trying to get our attention. She's waving and it wasn't successful. So she decided, what? She decided to do a cartwheel. She did a cartwheel right across the room. We were like, what? All of us just stood there with our mouths hanging open. Wow. That was the funniest thing you ever did in the classroom. And I just wanted to say thank you for the beautiful friendship that we have together. You've been there for me. You were there at my high school graduation, with my other DHH teacher, Marcia Ford. Both of you are so special. And you two also showed up to my wedding and even came to my baby shower. And I just want to thank you for everything. You're one of the best role models I ever had. And I hope that we can continue our friendship, that it'll stay strong for many years ahead. And it's a great honor to be able to do this video about you.
It's such a pleasure to get to continue to see students today, and Chris Pruitt was one of my students, and to be able to hire Chris Pruitt as an assistant principal for our school district was an honor and a privilege, and to be able to help to preside over his funeral was deep grief, and one that was an emotional time throughout our district, throughout our community, but impacted me personally as well. What a great man he was.
Trudy, to me, is like a mama bear to all of us. She is there when we have things that are happening that are sad. She's there when we have things that are going on that are happy to celebrate with us. Last April, it was after we had all learned that Chris Pruitt had passed away. And Trudy was visiting family in Hawaii, and she had sent us an email explaining how she was so sorry that she could not be there with us to grieve, but she would be there the next day. And I just remember walking into Data that morning, and I was so upset, and she just grabbed me and gave me this hug. And she just reminded me of my mom. She did what my mom would have done.
It was during my teaching time that my father passed away, and my father actually died on the Ventura High School tennis courts. He was playing tennis, And the legend has it that he was winning, which is only the way he would have wanted it. Obviously changed our family's lives forever, but my beautiful and courageous mother has lived a wonderful 30 more years and enjoyed her life immensely. From there, from the teaching career, I had the good fortune of Gloria Noble, actually. Some of you will remember Gloria Noble. And Gloria was an assistant principal at Balboa Middle School, and she was one of the few female administrators in the district. If you can believe that, there were very few female site or district. There were no district leaders, but there were very few female leaders in the district. Gloria Noble was one, and Gloria Noble, as the assistant principal at Balboa Middle School, said to me, you know, you'd be a great assistant principal.
She was an outstanding teacher. She had a special program for the hard of hearing at Balboa, and when she first came, we were excited to have her as part of the staff because we knew a bit about her before she came to Balboa. And in the classroom, she welcomed not only her own students at lunchtime to give them their own space and friends, but she invited any of the other students in the school.
Well, I'm easily influenced. So off I went to work on my master's and my credential, and had the incredible privilege and honor of becoming the assistant principal at De Anza Middle School. After being at De Anza Middle School for 2 years, I had the opportunity to become the principal of Sheridan Way Elementary School. I have to say that when I think about Sheridan Way, it was probably the highlight of my professional career. Those were 8 fabulous, fabulous years, and I believe that that's where I did my best work.
Ella fue una gran influencia en nuestra familia. Ella siempre nos motivó a seguir adelante. Al principio ella me envolvió en lo que es el Comité de Padres de Familia y al principio me sentía muy nerviosa, pero gracias a su apoyo seguí con más confianza. Entonces, en ese tiempo, cuando la conocí a ella, sucedieron muchas cosas positivas en mi familia. Yo pude obtener mi diploma de preparatoria, pude obtener mi certificado de nacionalidad americana.
Sheridan Way was, continues to be, is a very special place. And the children and the families of Sheridan Way meant the world to me then, and they mean the world to me today. I've watched families grow. Oftentimes someone will come back to see me, or I'll get that letter or that email or that call, and I'm just so proud of who the children of Sheridan Way became, and the leadership of the families of Sheridan Way, and all that has taken place over time. But that was a special place with memories that I hold dear to my heart.
Because of you, that education goes outside of the classroom, and it's about service.
We love you, Trudy, oh yes we do. When we think happy, we think of you.
That's also the time that I was getting my doctorate at USC, and Jennifer Robles was my partner in crime, and we would drive to USC every week, and Jennifer was extremely organized and always on top of everything, and I was usually lagging a little behind as a principal. And we would go to USC, and we'd have to take a test, and I would say to Jennifer in the car, "Tell me everything you know." And she would talk for 2 hours, and we would get there and take the test, and I'd do quite well. Those were the days when I was a very young mother, and there were a lot of us who would camp together. So Patty Kingsley, Jean Stiles, Ann Merritt, Ann Magoon, Jerry Quintanilla. It was a time of all coming together and bringing all of our children. We'd camp in Yosemite, and we would have birthday parties together, and so those were the days when I formed a group of friends who are still my dear friends today. And I laugh when I think back on our camping trips and our birthday parties, because you knew we were all teachers. We would have centers and bells would ring and our children would move from center to center. It was all very organized and very teacher-like, even in our times of play with our children. From Sheridan Way Elementary School, I said to the superintendent, Dr. Spirito, at the time, I'd like a change. I was ready. It was 8 years. It was time for me. It was time for Sheridan Way. And Dr. Spirito said, I've got just the great place for you, Pacific High School and El Camino High School. And I remember thinking, ooh, not that big of a change. I hadn't been to the high schools, and it was scary for me. But Dr. Spirito assured me that I would be able to do just fine, and I'm grateful to him because those were just 2, but they were 2 remarkable years.
Spirito said to me, right before Trudy came on board, he gave me a little hug and said, you will be so pleased at the person that's coming to be principal. Spirito had no earthly idea how I desired for Trudy to be principal there, because I knew Trudy would impact the campus in such amazing ways.
In the fall of 1998, Dr. Trudy Arriaga became the new principal of El Camino High School. Although we could only claim her for the 2 years before her arrival at the district office, Trudy was, and still is, our school's champion and game changer. I became a director, and in those days it was the Child Welfare and Attendance Department, and I was only a director for 1 year. And Joe Bova was the assistant director. So I got to work with Joe Bova. And that was the year that Joe and his wife Lynn discovered that they were pregnant. And I, to this day, remember Joe bringing in the sonogram into our office to show me, and the amazement and the pure shock when he pointed to not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 babies. And so I got to be a part from the very beginning of the Bova quintuplets, and have enjoyed watching the Bova family grow, and have been really honored to be a part of that part of our history from the very, very beginning.
I don't remember much from the year 2001, but I remember March 1st when I welcomed 5 babies into the world. And I remember the incredible support of the Ventura Unified School District under the generous leadership of Trudy. I know that I can never thank everybody individually, but I'd like to take this time to thank Trudy for leading the district in supporting my family. I know there was a great fundraiser held. I do know that because of the support of the Ventura Unified School District, we were able to purchase our first vehicle that we were able to use to tootle my family around town that had grown overnight. And so thank you to Trudy, and thank you to the Ventura Unified School District and everyone for your support.
Just after that 1 short year, Dr. Spirito decided to retire. And once again, I'm very easily influenced, and someone said, oh my gosh, you'd be a great superintendent. And I honestly, at that point, I had to look around and say, you talking to me? That was the farthest thing from my mind, that I would become the superintendent. But I had the nerve to put my name in that hat. And as we went through the process and I actually got into the finals, I knew one thing for sure, that no one would love it like I would. I certainly wasn't the most qualified. I certainly didn't have the most experience. Who was I to think that I could be the superintendent when I had never even been an assistant superintendent? But I knew that nobody would love it like I would, and I am so grateful to the board who took a chance on the hometown girl who had little experience but a whole lot of love to give. It was a momentous day when that occurred in our family, and my life was forever changed. But I don't want to minimize the fact that my life was changed, but my family's life was forever changed, because the superintendency requires tremendous sacrifice, not just on the part of the superintendent, but on the part of the entire family. And my daughters were grown, graduated by that time, but nevertheless, you know, I still had a lot to do as a mother and a wife and a daughter and a sister. My family has supported me every step of the way in my superintendency. There isn't a festival of talent or a Bravo or an activity or an event that you don't see my family surrounding me. And I could not have done the job. I could not have done the job that I have done as the superintendent without the support of my family.
More than once I said, you know, my mom was right. You can catch more flies with honey. And over again, I saw you do that. And I think that's just a great example of your legacy and how you led by example and taught a lot of people the right things, that it is better to be nice and kind.
So, the superintendency. There are so many stories in the superintendency that I wouldn't even know where to begin. There are funny stories, there are tragic stories, there are life-changing stories, but every story is a part of my history and every story is so meaningful to me. You know, there were unbelievably tough times in the superintendency, and when I think about some of the toughest times, of course, there are the natural disaster. I was superintendent for 9/11 and I was a new superintendent. To this day I remember driving to work, and of course the district office was at Santa Clara still, and realizing at that moment as a new superintendent what a tremendous responsibility I had on my shoulders to keep children and families and staff members safe. The days of 9/11 were, those were really a true testimony of my ability to be able to keep standing. Of course, there were many others. There was the La Conchita landslide, which was very close to home, where we lost some of our own children. And there was the Sandy Hook most recently, and I remember having to decide whether we were going to cancel events that night and making the decision not to cancel, and being so grateful that I made that decision, because as I sat in that auditorium and listened to the voices of our children sing, there was nothing more therapeutic and nothing more real than hearing the beautiful, beautiful voices of children singing, and, you know, having to hang on to hope and having to hang on to optimism, even in some of the toughest times in the superintendency. Of course, for the district, the toughest of times were during the fiscal crises and having to actually lay off people. I can tell you I lost sleep. I shed a lot of tears. Knowing that decisions that I was a part of, that I was making, were impacting the lives of families, that were impacting mortgages and children going to college and making sure that there was food on plates. And that was an overwhelming responsibility to have the burden of being a part of those excruciating decisions. And I guess I'm hopeful that when people think about what happened, and certainly there were casualties, there were people who were laid off from jobs during those times. When they think about what happened, I hope that the pain of that will lessen, and how it happened will be what is in the forefront. And I hope that I was kind, and I hope that I was personable, and I hope that I was respectful. I did my very best to ensure that everyone was well cared for in the very toughest of times, but those were some tough times.
You lead with heart, and that's so important. You care about the kids, you care about the teachers, you care about the community. I've known you for a long time, and I've seen this over the years, trying to make the world a better place, trying to make each student's life better for them so that they can lead the community into a wonderful future. Thank you.
2 years ago, Trudy received the very prestigious AXA Marcus Foster Award. And with that came $5,000 that she could choose to do anything she wanted to. What Trudy chose to do with that money was to watch during the year special seniors who for some reason exhibited some kind of unique quality that she saw in them, and typically seniors that aren't recognized for other awards. And she took that money, and on the senior awards night, she presented these special seniors with a monetary scholarship. I remember the one father that came up to her afterwards with tears in his eyes. And they said, "Thank you so much for recognizing my son. This has been a hard year for him. And that, what you saw in him, made all the difference." This to me is what sets Trudy apart.
These stories go on, and I know there are many funny stories about me, and sometimes I hear those stories and I think that people are telling them a little differently than how I remember them. And Spencer, you know what I'm talking about.
She came into the room filled with parents and children and a little puffed, and she said, "Excuse me please, but I tried to get here on time and I was running to get here, and I was stopped in the hall by a 10-year-old peer mediator who said, 'Please don't run, you need to walk safely to get there.'" And she said, "That's a humbling experience to start off my superintendency."
When Trudy first became our superintendent, she came by to introduce herself. And she came in and we didn't know her well, and she used the restroom and came out, and when I saw her, her dress was on inside out, and I had to be the one to tell her that. And what really made an impression with us was when we told her, she didn't try to hem-haw around it, she just announced to the whole room, "Well, I was in such a hurry to meet you all, I didn't even get my clothes on straight."
I taught for 5.5 years in the Deaf and Hard of Hearing program, and when I was about to give birth to my son, I contacted Trudy to see if she was interested in finishing out the rest of my year for me, because she was to finish her Deaf and Hard of Hearing credential. And when I brought it up to her, she said, "Oh no, when I finish, Ray and I are moving to Mexico." So I want to take credit here now that I talked Trudy into returning to Ventura. So if it weren't for me, she would not have been our wonderful superintendent. So it's all because of me.
I think what I would like to talk about is your need for a new wardrobe. I'd like to present the Ventura High School t-shirt with some bling as an option for t-shirt apparel. I'd also like to suggest this oversized hooded Ventura High School Cougar sweatshirt. I know that it will look beautiful on you. Also, we have a new stylish Ventura High School baseball cap to replace the multicolored one that you have currently. And then also these stylish yet light retirement type palms for you. I think that you will look very stylish when you attend our football games wearing all of this apparel.
And then there was the incredible opportunity after about 4 years into the superintendency to move from the Santa Clara and the Arcade office. We used to have 2 district offices, one Arcade, little tiny building right behind Jack in the Box, and then of course our Santa Clara office, which only had 1 conference room, mind you. And we were looking for a place to move. The city was anxious for us to get out of that location so that they could carry on with the revitalization plan of the downtown. And we started looking, and the Kinko's building came up for sale. Kinko's was selling the corporation, and the corporate building was going to be sold. And I literally stalked Paul Orfila. Paul Orfila was the founder of Kinko's, and he was a hard man to find. And I searched, and with a couple colleagues, we stalked and found him. And I established a relationship with Paul Orfila that went on for about 1.5 years. And every time Paul would go to lunch, he would take about $1 million off the price of the building. Well, towards the end, his attorneys started coming to lunch to see what on earth was happening that $1 million would be taken off the top of the sale of the building. But Mr. Orfila gave us an incredible, incredible gift to the Ventura Unified School District. And I believe we have the most beautiful education service center in the state of California, and one that is not a district office. It truly is a place where we learn and grow together. And also one where we're able to lease the other side of the building, and one that is a source of pride for all who come to Ventura Unified School District. And so we're grateful for the Kinko's sale and we're grateful for the price. I remember at the very end of the negotiations, Mr. Orfila said, "Do you want the furniture too? I don't know what I'm going to do with the furniture." And I said, "Shake, we're done, yes." And the furniture in the building was gifted to us, which was about $1 million in furniture. So what a time.
The summer of 2008, in July, there was a small window, a small opportunity for gay couples to get married. And we got married that summer, and the day after, just out of the blue, Trudy stopped by our house, and she brought us a beautiful bouquet of flowers to celebrate. And we were both just so touched by that, and it just typifies again the kind of relationship that Trudy establishes with so many people, and it just meant a lot to us. And Trudy has done that time and time again for many of us in the Ventura Unified community. So we're very grateful for that.
I can't talk about the superintendency without talking about some of the incredible people that I have worked with. Martha and Christy have been gifts to my life and gifts to my success as a superintendent. Every day when I come to work, I'm just so happy and grateful that I get to walk into my office and work with Martha and Christy. And their jobs are not easy, and I know that I am not easy. And they always present themselves with a positive outlook and a smile and optimism and a can-do attitude, and I cannot thank them enough. I know that they would tell you that everyone is a friend of Trudy's, and everyone who calls says, "Well, I'm a good friend of Trudy's," and they frequently will say, "How good of a friend is he or she?" It's always a dead giveaway when they say Trudy Arriaga. I know once someone said they were a good friend of Trudy Spiritos, and that was a dead giveaway that they weren't that good of a friend. But they always handle the public and my very good friends with gracious behavior and kindness and an attitude that indeed everyone is a good friend of Ventura Unified School District.
So you think you know Trudy?
Or you claim to be her good friend?
Number 10, do you know she keeps a jar of green olives by her side at all times and eats them constantly?
Number 9, do you know that she comes to work in her PJs at night and curls her hair in her office during the day?
Number 8, do you know that she talks to herself and makes a clicky noise when she is stressed?
Like this?
No, Christy, like this.
Number 7, do you know that she knows the words of every 60s song by heart, and she never leaves the car if a good song is playing until it's done?
Number 6, do you know that she orders Frappuccinos at Starbucks with no whipped cream? But if they accidentally give her whipped cream, she considers it her lucky day.
Number 5, do you know that she works until midnight and on weekends on a regular basis?
Number 4, do you know that she writes at least 10 handwritten cards a week?
Number 3, do you know that she keeps every card that has ever been written to her, and she has boxes full of cards that she refuses to throw away?
Ask Raimundo! Number 2, do you know that she requests the hottest salsa from every restaurant, always has a tapatio when she eats?
And the number 1 top 10 of So You Think You Know Trudy. Do you know that she cries easily but never over herself?
You know, another thing that I'm going to miss tremendously are all of the events. I love, and I know that's no surprise to you, I love the events. I love Bravo, I love Festival of Talent, I love Summerfest, Storyfest, and I love Celebrate VUSD. And to be able to create videos with Terry Weezer, not only my friend, but the magic of Terry Weezer, and to be able to look back on those videos now and laugh and cry and remember the great times that we had each year as a district. And there's always funny stories that come out of Celebrate, but one thing that always happens after Celebrate is that people will come up to me and they'll ask me questions, and one of the questions that always comes up is, who does your hair?
And occasionally a teacher will be in the salon when Trudy's there during the day, and they come up to me and said, oh my gosh, who does Trudy's hair? I don't want her to see me. And I said, I do, and you're in trouble.
Celebrate was one of the most important things to Trudy. She would plan Celebrate well a year in advance, including what she was going to wear for the event. The very first Celebrate is the infamous orange suit, and I have to say, I get some credit for that. Trudy and I loved shopping together, and when we saw that orange suit, we knew that was a must-have. Just like Jackie Kennedy or Princess Diana, making a fashion statement that will be remembered forever. She's a legacy for so many reasons, but how she put things together and the attention she got for that was most definitely something we'll all remember about Trudy. That orange suit, yeah, Trudy, we have a lot of laughs about that, but we accomplished what we intended to do. We're still talking about it 14 years later.
And so this is truly where it all began, and that's how the story unfolded. And how fortunate have I been to serve as your superintendent for 14 years and to be employed in this district for 35 years and to truly have grown up in this very gymnasium, the Bob Tuttle Gym. And now, on to the future. I thank my Rayomana, my grandson, and my soon-to-be-born Sophia, my granddaughter. I cannot wait for this next chapter to share it with the both of you. And so, Tony and Gail, my sisters, said that I went through my hippie stage, where the room was green and the Joan Baez was playing in the background and the incense was burning, and there was a poster on my wall. I have to tell you, I still live by that poster today. You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here, and whether or not it is clear to you, the universe is unfolding as it should. It's been a great, great journey. Thank you so very much.
Cut.
Come on, Grandma, let's go play.
That was beautiful. What a life, huh? Truly inspiring. A beautiful job, Terry. Yeah, fantastic. Hey, Val, what do you think? Little bling. All right, let's get on with the show. You know, I have to say though, Terry, I'm a little upset that I wasn't in that video. Right? I mean, you know, Trudy and I, we go back. You know, a lot of you may not know this, actually. We've known each other for years. But the very first time that we met, actually, was in Boston. And I was doing, together, we were in a production of Grease, you know, the musical. And I kid you not. You know what, can we get the house lights? I think I have some pictures here of, let's see, where is she? Yeah, can we get the house lights down a little bit so I think we could see it better? The gym lights? What do you say in the gym? Oh, okay, wait, don't change the picture just yet. We got to take the house lights down. House lights? House lights? Somebody? Bueller? Okay, so this was, can we go back for a second? One more. Okay, so there we are. This was one of our publicity photos. There's Trudy right there. Sort of, you know, she was a lot lighter then. And obviously, check out the hair. You know, it's gone through many, many changes over the years. Next, there we go. There we are dancing. Let's get a close-up of that one, if we can. Do we have a close-up? The next slide there? There we go. Yeah, look at that there. Isn't that great? Look at her with her poodle skirt. She looks so cute. And then let's see, what do we have next here? This is us in San Diego. We went to the San Diego Zoo, and she just loved that giraffe licking her ear. Spent like hours doing that. Next, this is us at the Hollywood Bowl. Oh, no, go back. We were there for 4th of July at the Hollywood Bowl, and we were watching Barry Manilow concert. It was fantastic. This is Trudy and I on the Ferris wheel, you know, at the fairgrounds. We'd love to do that, and we get stuck at the top, and she gets really scared, and it's really fun. Of course, this was before she started shaving her chest, but tells you how far back it goes, right? Okay, next, let's see, what do we have here? Oh, yes, this is Hawaii, when I saved her from drowning. So really, she owes me her life, and that's why I'm a little kind of perplexed why I wasn't asked to be in the video. But anyway, it's okay, because I know that we're tight. Is that it? Oh, no, I think we have one more. Oh, yeah, this was when she took a job at Universal Studios in the Hollywood horror, thing, because times were tough. But she was great. She did a really great job. Yeah. So it's been such a wonderful, so many years, so many memories. Okay, we can bring the house lights back up. The thing is, though, I'm really tight with Trudy, and I know our relationship is good because I'm one of those people that has gotten several of those handwritten letters, and I'm sure, I'm one of very few people because I'm sure she doesn't do that for everybody. In fact, you know what, why don't we just let me just say, how many of you have actually, please stand if you have received a handwritten letter from Trudy? Any of you? Stand if you've received a handwritten. Okay, well, I stand corrected. I guess I'm not Trudy's only best friend. Okay, now I gotta go up here and get my cards because I don't know where I am right now. Trudy, I have all those pictures framed for you so you can take those home. Our next group of performers have been singing together since they were in middle school. Under the direction of Miriam Arachea, the vocal group of 8 volunteer their time to share their love of singing with the community, which has included appearances at numerous community events and venues, including the Ventura County Medical Center, Casa Pacifica, the Boys and Girls Club, and of course, Festival of Talent, just to name a few. With a focus on music education and performance opportunities for youth, their mission is to promote goodwill and to bridge connections through music. Now that they're in high school, they decided that Broadway Juniors is uncool. So, here to sing Seasons of Love from the Broadway smash Rent, please welcome the artists formerly known as the Broadway Juniors, the Rubicon Harmonics.
$525,600 minutes, 525,000 bonus 525,600 minutes, 525,000 journeys to plan, 525,600 minutes. How do you measure the life of a woman or a man?
In truths that she learned during times that he cried, in bridges he burned for the way that she died.
Great. Oh, that was, don't ever do that. Okay, there we go. You know what that means, right? It's time for another cheer. Okay, stand up if you were one of Trudy's teachers and or administrators. Stand up. There we go. Okay, you ready? Wait, kids, no, stay standing, Val. Don't, I'm counting on you, girl. All right, ready? So here we go. Here's our cheer. Get up. Let's hear it. Because Trudy's got spirit. Whoop, 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 roar. All right, there we go. Yay. Actually, yeah, let's really give our teachers a round of applause. I mean, even if our teachers deserve a lot of credit, don't they? Of course, if they got paid more, they probably wouldn't need it, but, Hannah Beth? Got it, okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the president of Ventura Education Partnership and the chair of the successful passage of VUSD Parcel Tax Measure Q, an extraordinary community activist and champion for all children, the always earthy and ever so crunchy Kay Giles.
Unlike Trudy and many of you, I am not a hometown girl. My husband and I relocated to Ventura from the Bay Area about 17 years ago, when our boys were 3 and 5. The Bay Area was home, and I was not happy to move. Within a very short time, however, I realized that this city of over 100,000 people is actually a very small town and a wonderful place to raise a family. Our boys are now young men, one a college graduate and the other attending school in Boston. My husband and I will always be thankful for the outstanding education that they received in Ventura Unified. Trudy tells the story of the beginning of her tenure as superintendent when she proposed a single calendar for the district, citing a particularly contentious town hall meeting at Anacapa Middle School. At that time, my children were attending Mound Elementary, which was on a year-round calendar, and I was one of those parents who spoke out in opposition to the single calendar. I started attending Trudy's monthly Parent Advisory Council meetings in order to learn more about the calendar proposal and other district issues. I quickly grew to respect Trudy's leadership, her intelligence, and her passion for the education of every child in our district. In the next few years, Ventura Unified was hit with wave after wave of budget cuts. Time after time, we made signs and marched to the government center and rallied parents to send postcards to Sacramento. In 2010, I was proud to join Trudy in our first attempt to pass a parcel tax initiative for Ventura Unified. Measure H was approved by 60% of the voters, falling just short of the 2/3 requirement. We tried again in 2012 with Measure Q, and we were successful, winning almost 69% of the vote. A few months later, I attended an event sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce. A prominent businessman introduced himself to me and thanked me for my efforts on Measure Q. I thought to myself, how often in this country would you hear a business owner thanking someone for raising their taxes? And I believe that his attitude and our success with Measure Q can be attributed to the same factor. The voters of Ventura clearly trusted that Ventura Unified would make good use of the funds. Thank you, Trudy, for providing exemplary leadership and earning the trust of our community. For the last 6 years, I have served as president of Ventura Education Partnership, the foundation that supports all of the schools in Ventura Unified. When Trudy assumed the leadership of this district in 2001, she also helped to transform the role of our foundation. Trudy, along with Debbie Golden, became co-presidents of the foundation and changed our organization to an all-volunteer board. The new VEP also inaugurated a new fundraising event, Festival of Talent, chaired then and now by Bart Bluel of the Ventura Kiwanis Club. For that first festival, Trudy recruited her whole family to serve backstage, handling lights, sound, and whatever came their way. Festival of Talent is now a professional show directed by the Rubicon Theater's Brian McDonald and raises $50,000 annually to support the VEP Grant program. Under Trudy's leadership, the school district purchased the Stanley Avenue site and consolidated its offices under one roof at the new Education Service Center. The ESC is an amazing asset for our community, and VEP has taken full advantage of all that it has to offer. Ventura Unified partners with VEP to host Summerfest and Storyfest in the large park area at the rear of the property. These fun and free community events are attended and enjoyed by thousands of families. Under Trudy's leadership, Ventura Unified has emphasized the importance of building community and parent partnerships in support of education, a goal that is, of course, the defining mission of Ventura Education Partnership. And Ventura Unified's commitment to health and wellness during Trudy's tenure has been a leading example for districts across the state. And VEP supports this commitment with Summerfest, a free event showcasing health and fitness activities. As superintendent, Trudy has led this district with her philosophy of opening doors, providing equity, access, and opportunity for all the children of our community. She calls us to come together to weave the cloth so tight that no child falls through. Trudy's personal warmth, intelligence, and generous spirit have established a culture that welcomes one and all to combine our energies on behalf of all of the children of this community. VEP has supported this culture with our free family events and with VEP grants for teachers at all of our schools. On a personal note, I would like to thank Trudy for her friendship and share a special memory. On the morning of January 20th, 2009, Trudy dropped by our house to share brunch and watch as our country inaugurated its first African-American president. I enjoyed spending this very special moment in our history together, and I was relieved that she did not bust up my youngest son for staying home from school to join us. The first time I visited Trudy's office, I noticed that we had a couple of things in common. A love of purple and a poster that I have up at my house too, featuring one of my favorite poems. I believe that the words could have been written about Trudy's impact on all of us. Some people come into our lives and quickly go. Some stay for a while, leave footprints on our hearts, and we are never, ever the same. Thank you, Trudy, for your leadership and for all you have given to the children and families of our community.
Next, I'd like to invite to the stage Joe Richards, Deputy Superintendent and Business Services.
How's everybody today? It's an honor and a privilege to stand before you on this special occasion. I do want to take a moment to thank Trudy's family, especially Raimundo, Andrea, Daniela, and Ryo for loaning us your wife and your mom for all these years. I know what a sacrifice it is for you and your family, and we truly appreciate it. Now, I'm not sure that you were aware of this, but there is a clause in Trudy's contract that basically says that should there be any separation, we get the family in the divorce. And so we will be calling on you, and we will keep in touch. Now, I've been blessed to work with incredible leaderships. It's been a wonderful opportunity. I've originally started with Dr. Spirito, and for the past 14 years, I've worked with Dr. Arriaga. Our school board has an excellent track record in selecting great leaders, and so I look forward to continuing to work with Dr. Michael Babbs. Now, Trudy, we've had a great run, a great one. There's not enough time for me to list the many challenges and the many surprises and the many accomplishments that have occurred during your tenure. In fact, I don't think it's necessary to do so now. The video bore witness to your leadership. Your leadership has been well documented by the numerous articles written by yourself and written by others, and also documented by the numerous radio and television broadcasts that have talked about the various events that have occurred in Ventura Unified. And so I don't think that I really have to list all those things. Also, I think the fact that the people here in this room, the room is filled with students, with colleagues, with community members, family, and friends, and I think it's a testament to the respect and admiration that we all have for you and your leadership. And if you're still not convinced, you know, we're educators and we like data. And so we usually need to see visual results. We want to see the results. And so I would venture to say that anyone that would go back and check all the data points that talk about what a successful district looks like, those data points will all be basically attesting to the fact that we have been under great leadership for quite a while. So without having to do all of that, what I do want to take the time to tell you is you've run a great race, you've saw challenges, you've met them, and you've finished this course. Now, you know, I've been watching you. You know, our offices are right next to each other, and we have many talks, and we commune throughout the day. And so I do know, you know, how difficult this is for you. I know that, you know, these are difficult times and you have worries and concerns, and that's normal. That's normal that you would have those things. But I really want to let you know that your leadership has done a good job of preparing us to move forward, to face the challenges ahead, and we've learned from your teaching and your leadership. So when you led us through the development of a vision, a mission statement, and guiding principles, we learned. We learned as a district, as a community. When you model communication, collaboration, patience, kindness, and respect, we learned. We got it. When you taught us not to tolerate, but to appreciate diversity and celebrate the differences in what everyone has to bring to the table, we learned. When you led us in serving the students, staff, and community of this district, we learned. We got it. When you taught us conflict resolution, how to have a healthy culture, and how to celebrate, we learned. We learned. And I'm really saying all of this in an attempt to ease any concern and anxiety that you may have about your experience and your decision to leave. Our culture is intact, and you have taught us well. Ventura Unified is better because you have led us, taught us, and we have learned. We have definitely learned. I don't know if Chip Frazier is here, But I guess I will start with school board members. If school board members, if you have learned from Trudy Arriaga, would you just clap? Just clap. Thank you. Chip Frazier and members of the Ventura Educators Association, if you've learned from Dr. Arriaga, would you clap? Would you just clap? Thank you. And Terry Roots, and the member of the Ventura Support Education Personnel Association, if you're here and you've learned from Dr. Arriaga, would you also clap? Just clap for a moment. Thank you. And also the members of the district leadership team, if you would just stand up for a minute. All the members of the district leadership team. Okay, and if you have learned all these lessons from Dr. Arriaga, would you clap as well? Just clap. Thank you. Thank you so much. I hope that knowing that we've learned helps you to move into the next stages of your life with pride and joy, because we will be watching you with that same pride and joy. I want you to know that you're a special person. We love you. We appreciate you. We honor you. We want you to enjoy your road ahead, and we wish you and your family the best that life has to offer. So thank you, Dr. Trudy Tuttle Arriaga. It has been an honor and a pleasure to serve with you. Thank you.
Okay, so now I would like to ask those of you who went to elementary, middle, or high school with Trudy to please stand. Oh, a small but mighty group here. Okay, are you ready? No? Okay, let's hear you. We love you, Trudy. Oh, yes, we do. Oh, gosh. Obviously, your principal did not make you guys sing like Trudy did, right? All right, you know what? Go ahead, sit down. That was terrible. All right. You know, Trudy, as a principal, she was always, as we learned from the video, singing was always a part of that culture in the schools where she was principal. And many afternoons were spent playing guitars and singing. Billboard charts of the 60s, I'm sure. Staff members from the schools where Trudy was principal are here today. Sorry, I'm hitting something. And from Sheridan Way Elementary School, Pacific High School, and El Camino High School at Ventura College are here to lead us in a sing-along. So everybody gets a chance to sing here. And they're using the melodies from the songs Brown Eyed Girls, Proud Mary, the YMCA, and Wonderful World. And so if we could have the lights down just a bit or some of them off, because you're going to see some lyrics, new lyrics, that were written by a PHS teacher, Doug Kidwell, and they're going to appear on the screens so that you can all sing along. So sing out, Louise, and please welcome not the Grateful Dead, but the Grateful Schools. Take it away.
So, Dr. Arriaga, Trudy, we represent Sheridan Way and El Camino and Pacific High School. And when Trudy came to us at Pacific and El Camino, it's a little bit of a hornet's nest. And one of our teachers said, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe this lady's all about love." Remember Mr. Tucker? It can be a little challenging at Pacific High School at times, and he just thought that was the absolute worst approach to take. And at the end of her 2 years with us, he looked at us and he said, "Wow, love really does work." Yeah. And another teacher, one of the other things that one of our teachers said was, "I have never worked so hard in my life and enjoyed it so much." So we have these songs for you and hope you enjoy them.
all enjoyed working with Trudy. She's been truly an inspiring and energetic. This next song is called Our Awesome Superintendent.
Feel free to join us.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, I think this one would be better if we hear some clapping. So we're going to count to 4, and you guys are going to clap on the 2 and the 4, okay? Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 4. Here we go.
Started as an educator, didn't take long to go administrator. Good times, hard times, didn't matter. Trudy kept her climbing up the district ladder. Hard work and dedication. No wonder she was so well liked in education. Dancing, inspired, our awesome superintendent. She kept us dancing, inspired, our awesome superintendent.
All right, this next one, instead of the YMCA, we're going to miss you in VUSD. So when we get to that part, you know the signals. V, U, S, and D in sign language is like you've been bad. So VUSD. Be ready, everybody. Teaching and principal. Cashier in the way, Pacific, enjoy your every day, coming up, only good to say, 'cause we always supported. Cheers for children, helping every home, festival of talent, showcasing talents to grow, stay positive. Yes, that was her tone, so it's time to say thank you. Gonna miss you in VUSD. Gonna miss you in VUSD. Leaving our district for oh so long, but dear Trudy, you'll always be home here in VUSD. Gonna miss you in VUSD. Leaving our district for oh so long, but dear Trudy, you'll always be home here in VUSD.
Right. We have one more song that we would like to do and invite you all to sing along. This is a song that we would always do at our graduation ceremony during Trudy's years at Pacific High, and she would always sing along. Of course, we would sing it to the new graduates. And it seems like this is more of a graduation than a retirement to me, because I remember 15 years ago when Trudy was applying for the superintendent job. I wrote, Trudy Arriaga is going to be the best person in the universe for this job. And I believe that Trudy is going to be the best person in the universe for any job she does. As she goes off now to Cal Lutheran, she's going to be, our loss will be their gain. So, graduation song. This is a Satchel song.
What a wonderful world. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds of white. Let's try that again. And with Trudy as our superintendent. Okay, third time's a charm. And with Dr. Arriaga as our superintendent. It's been a wonderful world.
Yeah, we worked on that last line a lot. It's one that changed. You guys do.
Okay. So, we're coming to the end. We're getting there. Everybody having a good time, though? I'd like those of you to stand up if you have seen Trudy sitting in her car waiting for a good song to end. Oh, wow. There are lots of you. All right, let's add to that group those of you who have no idea who Trudy Arriaga is. No. I'm adding to that group. Stand up. Good. Stand up. Stay there. Okay, ready? So now repeat after me. Here we go. Hit the road, Trudy, and don't you come back. Oh, you know what? Actually, that's not a good one. Okay, never mind. Forget it. Sit down. All right, our next speaker has served as the Ventura Unified School District Board President for the past 15 years. She has done so with great passion, grace, and humility, never wanting the spotlight, unless, of course, there's a hula hoop involved. Please give it up for the the 1961 hula hoop champion, Debbie Golden. Val, you're up next. Okay, never mind. No, God, do whatever you want to do.
Okay, I will.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Val Wyatt.
Good afternoon. As the principal of Ventura High School, it is my honor and privilege to pay tribute to our superintendent, Dr. Trudy Tuttle Arriaga. Trudy has led our district for 14 years and has been an exemplary role model for all. She has led from her heart and infected all of us with her passion and her excellence. She believes in the rights of all children to be safe, to be honored and loved, to have an education that is the very best that it can be so that they can be successful, to have a roof over their heads, nutritious food on their plates, someone to love them, and to be free from physical and emotional harm of any kind. She is an amazing woman who has received dozens and dozens of awards because of her leadership, her courage to do what is right and to lead us through tough times with optimism, courage, unwavering determination, and strength. Some of those awards include the 2013 Marcus Foster Memorial Award for Administrator Excellence, California Superintendent of the Year in 2010, 2003 Woman of Vision Award, AXA, our statewide professional organization, Superintendent of the Year many, many times, the Citizen of the Year from our chamber, one of the top 25 over 50 in the county, and honorary service awards from PTSA at least twice that I know of. And the list goes on and on. Today, I would like to recognize her contributions to our district, our community, and to Ventura High School by presenting her with the most prestigious award given at Ventura High School, the Hall of Fame Award. Her picture will line the hallways in our office, along with hundreds of other Ventura High School graduates over the past 124 years, who have distinguished themselves for their service to our school, our community, who exemplify all of the characteristics of school spirit, leadership, commitment, dedication, doing what is right always, even when it is not always popular to do so. So Trudy, on behalf of Ventura High School, on this 6th day of June 2015, it is my extreme pleasure to induct you into the Ventura High School Hall of Fame. please come forward and accept your commemorative plaque.
Okay, now the hula hoop chant. You know, since the Board of Education has not yet been introduced, I think I'd like to introduce them and ask them to come up and stand with me while I make this what I definitely will be a very short speech. And then we'll get Trudy up here. Okay, so first we'll have Barbara Fitzgerald, Vice President of the Board of Education, Mary Hafner, Board Member, Velma Lomax, Board Member, and John Walker, Board Member. It's a great privilege for me to speak this afternoon on behalf of the Board of Education at this very special event. We took a big risk in hiring Trudy as superintendent 14 years ago. She had very little district office experience, but this board chose to look at what she had accomplished in those positions she held and her passion and dedication to a district that she has called home for the past 55 years, as we saw in the video. We believe we made a great decision in hiring Trudy. As the first female superintendent in Ventura Unified ever, there were some growing pains, like when a dad came into the superintendent's office shortly after she started to discuss an issue he was having with his child's school. Trudy offered him coffee and asked him to sit down and wanted to hear his concerns. He was silent for quite a while, and then he said, "Will the superintendent be joining us?" She replied, "I am the superintendent." Trudy settled into the superintendency quite nicely. And I know she talked a little bit about the Kinko's building in the video, but I'd like to give you the real inside scoop. She decided a couple years into her tenure that the Kinko's property would be a perfect place for the new district office, and she really didn't know anything about it. So she was determined to find out, and one day Joe Richards, myself, Chris Bergstrom, and Trudy decided to pay a visit to the Child Care Center, which was open behind the now empty Kinko's building. The director of the center, Mr. Orfila, rarely came to Ventura anymore, is what they told us when we went to the Child Care Center. But they also told us that he did have an office in another building that he came to maybe once every 2 months. We piled back into the car and drove to that office, and we were hoping to find a secretary or someone that could give us some information about the building. We walked into the office, and who was standing right there in front of us? You guessed it, Paul Orfila. We were completely unprepared, but Trudy stepped right up to him and clearly and professionally told Paul Orfila exactly what she wanted and why. And as you heard in the video, there was many negotiations that left his lawyers in a cold sweat. But at the end of that, he sold us the property for a very reduced rate and threw in all the furniture. Only Trudy could make that happen. Trudy decided this new building on Stanley Avenue would be more than a district office, and indeed, it was going to be an education service center. And Trudy has implemented many wonderful classes, programs, and events that benefit the entire community. I think that's why our board decided to rename the Ventura Unified School District Education Service Center, the VUSD, Trudy Tuttle Arriaga Education Service Center, a very fitting tribute to her leadership. As the years went by and our board grew to appreciate Trudy's courageous and passionate leadership, some have questioned our ability to reach consensus on most issues. I believe there are two main reasons for this. First, although we are all very different people, we all want what's best for the children of Ventura and vote accordingly. And second, and probably most importantly, we rely on the culture that Trudy has built, through her leadership, a culture that is inclusive and promotes tolerance, respect, and inherent dignity for everyone, from the 17,000 students and their families to 2,000 VUSD employees to the community at large. This culture provides a firm foundation for Dr. Babb and all future leaders that follow in Trudy's footsteps. On a personal note, I'd like to thank you, Trudy, for teaching me how important relationships are. Everyone has a story, and I've learned from you to slow down, be present, and listen carefully to those stories, because they indeed create the moments in our lives that we are most important and memorable. And thank you for teaching me the importance of celebration. We joyfully celebrate everything at Ventura Unified. We celebrate births, deaths, retirements, promotions, beginning of the year events, end of the year events, you name it, we celebrate it. And it's these celebrations to honor and recognize people that make life special and worth living. Today, Trudy, we celebrate you. And thank you for your grace, optimism, and generosity of spirit. I know I speak for the entire board and our community when I say this is a bittersweet moment for us to say goodbye to you, who has meant so much to so many. We wish you happiness in your new career, more time to relax and to pursue new dreams, and definitely more time to enjoy your expanding, wonderful family. We love you, Trudy.
So while Trudy is hugging, I'll come over here down to Mom. Hopefully I don't have some feedback here. Hi, how are you doing?
Doing great.
Yeah, you must be so proud.
Pardon?
Be so proud.
Oh, over the moon.
Well, I'm going to tell a story here, okay? And if I get it wrong or you want to add anything, you just let me know, all right? Okay. Most lullabies are gentle and sweet, and they're sung to help us go to sleep. Not for baby Trudy, right? No. Baby Trudy, how old were you, by the way? 3 weeks old, and was up here. There was a balcony, and this is where they would sit, up in the balcony, and Trudy's mom would hold her in her arms. And they would cheer on, of course, Coach Bob Tuttle, and Trudy would be lulled to sleep by the sounds of bouncing basketballs. So at this time, we would like to pay tribute to the memory of Bob Tuttle and honoring a few moments of pause, reflection, and gratitude as we enjoy the lullaby and the sound of bouncing basketballs by the basketball players from Ventura High School, Buena High School, and Foothill High School. Hang out right here, guys. Hang out right here. Guys, right here. So, do we have a wall that is, here we go. This is, would you guys like to present this? Okay, here we are. This is a ball that's actually going to go to Mama.
Music to my ears.
It's music to her ears, she said. Wonderful. Thanks, guys. Thanks. All right, now dribble your way out of here. Go, let's go. Up, 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 up. Oh, I never played basketball. That was a good thing. Mahatma Gandhi once said, "The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others." That is who our beloved Trudy is. After 35 years of service, 13 years of attendance as a VUSD student, and a lifetime of love for VUSD, please welcome one final time your Superintendent of Schools and my dear friend who I saved from drowning, the inspiring Dr. Trudy Tuttle Arriaga.
Thank you. Didn't Brian McDonald do a fabulous job? How lucky. Thank you. I just thank you for continuing to be here. This was longer than anticipated. You know, my vision was that the retirement party would be free, that it would be family friendly, that it would be casual, and that it would be student focused, and it would be in the Bob Tuttle gym, and I got everything I asked for and more, so thank you so very much. I have many thanks to give, and if you will just bear with me. First off, I'd like to thank the committee who helped to make this event possible. Gail, Linda, Debbie, Martha, Georgia, Tony, and Christy, thank you so very much. I'd like to thank the numerous people. I walked in yesterday from the maintenance and operations folks who were making sure that the light didn't come in the window. Certainly the Technology Development Center, Lunars, the custodial staff of Ventura High School, all who are very, very busy people and have a lot to do. But what they spent their time doing for the last couple days is preparing this. So please join me in thanking them. I also desperately wanted this to be free. I didn't want it to cost money to come and stop by and say hello or to enjoy what we've enjoyed today. And that was able to be possible because people generously contributed their own funds. And those folks are listed in the program, but I thank them very, very sincerely for helping this to be a free event. So thank you so very much. Thank you. And I most definitely wanted student performances. So from the Dada Mariachi Band to the Buena High School Jazz Band to company to harmonics to the basketball players and the last venue, the Buena High School Drumline. There's just nothing better for me than to be able to enjoy the sounds, the sights, and the talents of our children. So I thank all of the staff members who made that possible, and most importantly, I thank the student performers. I want to thank Terry Weezer. Where is Terry Weezer? Where is he? See, there he is. Terry Weezer, Tim Ogilvy, and his staff, but Terry and I this was our 15th video together, and I gotta say, Terry, maybe it was just because it was me, but I loved it. And I personally think it was the best you've ever done. So thank you to Terry Weezer, my very good friend, the magic of Terry. You know, I have to tell you, we sat down one day, if you can believe this, and Terry said, just talk about your life. I talked for 3 hours. And it was like I went into another place. And so none of that was scripted, none of that was with notes. I just started at the beginning. And the fact that Terry and Tim listened for 3 hours is amazing in itself. But then for Terry to take 3 hours and take and condense and then put the people of my life in the video, Terry was absolutely genius, magical. So again, please, Terry Weiser. And then the very, very, very talented and a gift to the community of Ventura, my friend Brian McDonald. Thank you, Brian. When I thought about, who would I love to have MC this, I thought, of course, Brian. And Brian is a very, very busy man. And to have Brian spend not just his afternoon with us, but to have Brian spend days really just thinking this through and sitting through the video and making certain that he was, going to be able to lead this, I appreciate. And so what we'll give back to Brian is that we will all attend the Rubicon production that is playing through June 21st. It is Other Desert Cities. I have not yet seen it, but I hear it is fabulous. Let us continue to support the Rubicon. It is a jewel in our community, and we cannot, for a minute, let a production go by without being sure that we see it. And Brian is directing this one, so that's our payment to Brian. So I'll see you all there. And now some I'll go quickly, some global thank yous to the community of Ventura, community members who are here today who have supported Ventura Unified so generously, so graciously. I think the Measure Q parcel tax initiative was just the largest vote of public confidence that our community could ever bestow upon us. And, as I look in the audience and see community members who are here who do not have any direct connection, maybe they used to, but to not have a direct connection to the Ventura Unified School District, but to give so generously. And certainly Sandra and Jordan Labby, who I have admired and appreciated and marveled at your generosity over the years. And so join me in just thanking Jordan and Sandra as an example of, thank you so much. When we talk about community, I'm going to introduce my hairstylist just one more time. I have had that question asked of me so many times in my life, who does your hair? I want the man behind the hair, Gary Nething. Stand up, Gary. And then people say, well, where is he? And I say, he's at Secret Place. And they'll say, no, Trudy, really? No, it's a secret place. No, really, where is he? Gary Nething works on Main Street at the salon Secret Place. And literally, Gary has been doing my hair since my daughters, who are now in their late 30s, were toddlers. And so every crazy hairdo you saw, whether it was the big hair, the short hair, a few of them, Gary, I have to say, what were you thinking? There were a few years when you weren't doing your best work, but it is all responsibility. And so Gary Nething, remember that name. He is a fabulous, and we've raised our children together. And when you sit in that chair, Gary Nething knows more about the Ventura Unified than most of you do. He's got a lot of secrets. So Gary Nething from A Secret Place Hair Salon. I thank the parents who are here. I thank you for your support, whether it's VEP, PTA, PTOs, booster clubs, DLAC, ELAC, School Site Council. We have such a tremendous parent community, and thank you for entrusting me as the superintendent with your children. I thank the staff members of the Ventura Unified School District, our certificated staff members. I can tell you the students of this district are in outstanding hands. Without exception, when I go from classroom to classroom, I marvel at the excellence of teachers in the Ventura Unified School District. And so for those of you who are current teachers or retired teachers, I thank you. I thank the certificated staff members who are other than teachers, from our counselors and our nurses, just who provide the support. But I guarantee you, in the 28 schools that we are so that we are so very, very blessed to have in this school district, without exception. Our staff members are outstanding. I think VESPA staff members, our support professionals, our bus drivers, our folks who work in purchasing departments, and our folks who make sure that the grounds and the facilities are beautiful. There is not a school in this district that I would not proudly send my own grandchildren to, and that is based on the support staff as well as the certificated staff who just give so generously to the children of this district. I want to give special thanks to our VESPA and VUA leadership. I got a note from both Chip and Terry that they weren't able to come today because because they were at a conference, but it was an honor and a pleasure for me to lead alongside with them. And Steve Blum is here, and Steve Blum, as a longstanding VUA president, Steve, I not only appreciated your leadership, but I have deeply appreciated your friendship over the years, so thank you, Steve Blum. And I would like to thank the district leadership team, and as I look out, many of you are here. The infamous DLT, district leadership team. You lead with dignity, you lead with respect, and I always considered you my team, and I thank the district leadership team, the principals, who I had the extreme pleasure and honor to supervise over the years, and then all the others, and of course there's the executive cabinet. Just listen to the names: Jerry Dannenberg, Rich Morrison, Jeff Chancellor, Steve Bailey, Andrea Crouch, Anthony Ramos, Rich Kirby, Kathy Asher, Jennifer Robles, and Joe Richards. How fortunate have I been to serve with the leadership of the names I just mentioned. So join me in acknowledging and thanking the executive cabinet members. I know I thanked Martha and Christy in the video, but I'm not putting the microphone down if this is my last microphone opportunity to say, Martha and Christy, I love you. I honestly love you. It's just that plain and that simple. So Martha Macias and Christy Wallace, please join me in thanking them. Martha Macias, Christy Wallace. To the Board of Trustees who were here on the stage, but I'd like to add 2 additional board members. I'd like to also acknowledge Mr. Cliff Rodriguez. Cliff, if you would please stand. And Mr. Jim Wells. Mr. Wells, if you would please stand. Cliff and Jim were part of the board, along with Velma, Debbie, and John, who took a risk, a big risk, on the, as I said in the video, the hometown girl. And I cannot thank you enough for putting your trust in me. I cannot thank you enough. I have been honored and privileged. And then, of course, Mary and Barbara came on board, and how fortunate were we when Cliff and Jim retired from the board to get the next 2 best board members we could possibly ask for. We have been so fortunate in the Ventura Unified School District to be led by the board members who have led us so generously and graciously over time. So join me in thanking our Board of Trustees. Thank you so much. I haven't seen him, but is Dr. Babb here? Is Dr. Michael Babb here? Where is Dr. Babb? Where? There you are, Dr. Babb. Dr. Babb, I want you to come up. Come. I am very, very pleased and proud and honored to be presenting to you the incoming superintendent of the Ventura Unified School District, Dr. Michael Babb. I want to make sure that you all know our story. Our story is that when Dr. Babb rolled into town many years ago, he was looking for a principal job, and he came to Ventura Unified. He had an interview in San Diego. We did our very best to woo him to Ventura Unified School District, and literally as he was driving away, I'm saying, think Ventura, as he's driving away to San Diego. And he did. He came back, and Dr. Babb served as our principal at the E.P. Foster Elementary School, and then he left us and did great work at the County Office of Education, and then he became the superintendent of the Mesa School District. And I honor the board for making an outstanding decision in who will lead the next decade of the Ventura Unified School District. And when I got the superintendency, I was given this hat. And it says IMP, and on the back it says, is my problem. And Dr. Spirito, the outgoing superintendent, got one that said NMP, not my problem. And so Dr. Spirito rode away with his, and I put this one on. And I'm going to bestow this hat to you. But I'm going to change it, because I have found that to be the superintendent of the Ventura Unified School District, the IMP really stands for is my privilege. And I bestow this privilege onto you, Michael Babb. He's going to do a great job. Give him a great hand. Okay, the last group of people that I have to thank, and then I hope you'll all join us outside for the Ventura High School Culinary Arts program has prepared food outside, and there's a DJ that's playing, so just an opportunity to get some fresh air, have something to eat, and again, I'm just so grateful that you're here today. But I would ask you to just give me a few more minutes and thank my family. I have cousins, aunts, uncles, nephews, and nieces who are here today, and I thank them for being here. I was one of the lucky ones. I was born into a family without exception that just has given unconditional love and support. And so, first, I thank my cousins, my beautiful aunt and uncle, my Aunt Mickey and my Uncle Phil, who are here, and, talk about, I have this, we in our family have this opportunity to look at our elders and to see the beauty of living life and the meaning of life through the eyes of my mother and my Aunt Mickey and my Uncle Phil. And I love all three of you, and so I just thank my Aunt Mickey and my Uncle Phil for being here. I'm so glad you're here. And my cousin Mike is here as well, so thank you so much. And then my beautiful nieces and nephews who went through the Ventura Unified School District and now are on to really exciting things in their own college careers. So I'm going to be watching, but they're good products of the Ventura Unified School District. I want to thank my brother and my sisters, and I want to include my brother-in-laws and my sister-in-law in that same category, because I have been one of the fortunate ones to have a sister-in-law and brothers-in-laws who I consider to be my own brothers and sisters. I've been really, really fortunate in my life, and my siblings attended just about everything, and you were always applauding. And I just thank you all for always applauding. And I look really forward to not having to leave early and come late. I'm going to be at the party, I'm going to be on time, and I'm going to be the last to leave. So my brother and my sisters. My mother has actually kind of earned her own title, I think, in this district. And my mother, Mom, any success that I have ever had in my life, I put in your hands. I thank you, Mother. Again, to have a mother who gives unconditional love, not just on a daily basis, but on a lifetime basis. Unconditional love, unconditional support, always said to me that all would be well. And I got really good news, Mom. All is well. All is well. And always rubbing my feet and always telling me that I was doing a good job. So thank you to my beautiful mother. Thank you, Mom. And I also want to thank so many people here who have been so good to my mother. From Val Wyatt, who makes sure that there's a parking place, to Mike Irving, who makes sure that there's a golf court to take her, to the custodial staff, who make sure that there's a cone place there so that my mother has access. My mother actually said, I'm going to really miss this. So thank you for treating my mother so beautifully over the years. Thank you. Okay, to my daughters, Daniela and Andrea, and the little guy who was making just a little bit of ruckus up there happens to be mine, but my daughter, wave Drea under the N, and my daughter Daniela, wave Daniela. I think if there's anything I'm proud of in my life, I want you both to know that I'm most proud to be your mother. I'm most proud to be your mother. And I cannot wait for this next chapter in my life where I get to be more present as your mother. So please join me in acknowledging my daughters. And then to my husband, Raimundo. Yeah. Dr. Spirito would tell a funny story, and he would tell the story how he was always coming home late to dinner. And Mrs. Spirito, Mary Spirito, would have plates of food, beautiful dinners prepared, and the candle would be low by the time he got home. And I thought, wow, that's a different story than what I have. But the story is actually pretty much the same, because I was always late to dinner. And the bag would be kind of greasy of what was that we were going to eat. But Raimundo, just like Mary Spirito, would always be waiting. And the sacrifice of, and I look at Donna Babb, our beautiful, wonderful Portola teacher, Donna Babb, who is the wife of Michael Babb. There is tremendous sacrifice, not just on the part of the superintendent, but on the part of the spouse. And although oftentimes I was not home, I was late, I was not there, Raimundo was always present. You were always there, and I thank you for that, Raimundo. I thank you very, very much for allowing me to do the job that I've been able to do over time. So some of you we live on Poli, and people say, does he actually pull your car out and turn it around every morning so you don't have to back out? He does. He does. And I disguise dates. I say, you want to go out Friday night? And he'll like, yes. I'll say, wind ensemble concert? So we've done a lot of disguised dates in our marriage, but ever present and ever supportive. So join me in thanking Raimundo. And on to the future. As I said in the video, I have a beautiful grandson, Rayo. Rayo, can you wave? Can you wave to Grandma Trudy? There's Rayo. He took a little nap during the presentation, and my guess is so did some of you. It was a bit of long presentation. And my daughter Daniela is soon to have a baby in September, so we're having a little girl come to our family, so looking forward to the future. And I can tell you all that if Rayo or soon-to-be-born Sophia, if they ever have the opportunity to be in the Ventura Unified School District as students, I would be honored. I would be honored to have my grandchildren attend this school district in any classroom at any school. I would be honored. And my final words are to the students, and I know they're, the students who are here, the performers, but the students who aren't here. I have watched students in thousands of venues over the years, whether it be on the stage, whether it be in the classroom, on the field, on the courts, in the swimming pool. I have watched thousands of students over the years, and I just hope that perhaps in some small way I touched a student through a decision I made, or perhaps that I made their journey easier because I was there. And that, if I have done that, then I feel like I have been the person I wanted to be as the superintendent. And as I was thinking about students, I just would like to say just names that came to my mind. Christine Brumby, Virginia Godinez, Chris Pruitt, Jesse Conchas, Danny Lopez, Varita Mateos, Monica Diaz, Daisy Cardona, Joshua Packer, Michelle Camarillo, Matt Schumacher, Mark Busey, Brasilia Perez, Jessica Clay, Sean Gillespie, Nicolette Cayate. Just students who crossed my paths that I am forever changed and forever grateful for having the opportunity to play a small part in the lives of the children that we are all so very privileged to serve in this community. So thank you so very much. I appreciate it very, very much. And thank you for this incredible venue. Thank you.
Well, I just want to say, Dr. Babb, you have some pretty high heels to fill. And now, thank you all so much for being here for this wonderful celebration. And now, if you'll please join us by following the Buena High School drum line as they lead us out to the quad for some delicious fare prepared by the Ventura High School culinary arts students and the rockin' rhythms of the dance on the dance floor with DJ Bruce Barrios. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Peace out.